15 yards, made guys miss. And you know who else looked good running the football? Zach Zenner.
Double Z, baby.
24 yards on 7 carries. Rush per game's not great, but he also had 32 yards on 3 carries. So that's going to be something to look at during training camp. The Zach Zenner experience. He made the team last year before getting hurt. And the Lions, of course, as we were talking about earlier, signed free agent tight end Andrew Quarles, formerly of the Green Bay Packers. He was injured last year. He will be suspended for the first 2 games of the season if he makes the team for a gun issue where he fired a gun in the air during an argument he and another guy had with 2 women. And Bob Quinn had a zero when he was hired. They was asked about it, and he said 0 tolerance for domestic abuse and dangerous weapons. And the last I checked, a gun is a dangerous weapon.
See.
Now, I don't think it's a big deal that they signed this guy. The problem is, don't say you're going to have 0 tolerance if you're not going to have 0 tolerance.
And again, it's not a huge problem. No. It's just a conversation.
The guy might not even make the team.
I mean, I'm not that fired up about it, but I mean, it is worth pointing out that you said 0 tolerance, and this is so. Can we clarify going forward that it is going to be a case-by-case basis? We got this ticket text, 97136. Plenty of people shoot their guns in the air. Don't group them with people who assault or threaten others. Quinn's fine. This is a horse bleep conversation. Let's move on. Now, look, people who shoot their guns in the air on New Year's Eve is a little bit different than people who are confronting someone else at 4:30 in the morning in a parking garage and a woman's involved. This is not a celebratory gun shoot. This is what I can do with this gun.
It's a warning shot.
And next time I shoot it, it might be in a different direction.
And it's not even
that's an issue.
And it's not even the issue of so much of that. It's the issue of where does this rank under his quote unquote 0 tolerance for dangerous weapons. Maybe he'll need to clarify that. Let's talk to Barry on a cell. You're 97 on the ticket.
Good morning, fellas.
Hey.
I got 2 points that I want to make. In regard to whether or not you're going to enforce the 0 tolerance policy, shouldn't it be 0 tolerance whether or not you're going to enforce it? You know, it seems kind of hypocritical if you're going to have that policy and you're not going to actually adhere to it. It makes sense.
Right.
And then secondly, the guy was going to be asserting his dominance. I mean, the guy's a tight end in the NFL. You know, just wouldn't his size alone assert his dominance? Why does he need to use a gun?
Right. Me and Stoney are the kind of guys who probably need to fire up a gun.
Exactly.
That shouldn't require an NFL player to do it.
Right. Skinny white dudes with no athletic ability.
Skinny.
Or very little. Well, I didn't mean, I used to be skinny.
I'm joking.
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
No, I was talking about myself. Come on, look at me. I'm stacked.
You're not in my category.
Yeah, right.
You don't have the Buddha. Certainly, I don't know if you would call Usain Bolt svelte, skinny, whatever. You just call him fast as hell. Again, he did it last night, winning the 100 meters, which, of course, as you know, the fastest man in the world competition, basically, and he did it for the 3rd straight Olympiad.
At the gun, Gatlin away, and so is Blake. Vico, and here comes Bolt. But Gatlin has a big lead. Can Bolt catch him? Here he is, still invincible. Usain Bolt. It's not supposed to be that easy, Tom. But when you can finish the way this young man has consistently finished over his career, it doesn't matter who gets a lead, they are going to get caught.
That's NBC Sports with the call.
And just a little known fact, the Lions also signed the guy who fired the gun to start that race to a 2-year contract.
Here is Mr. Bolt after the race.
No, I knew from the semifinals that I would have won because I could tell. I felt good. I felt smooth. I knew Justin Gatlin was going to get it started as always. He always has a signature start. So all I have to do is stay cool and get back into the race at 60.
You know, what was amazing about watching that, well, even not just the final, but even the semifinal heat where he was just looking around, see what was going on. I couldn't tell if he was looking at the Jumbotron to see where people were behind him at all as well. But it makes it look so easy. Now, granted, he's taller than most sprinters, so his stride is bigger. But he just, halfway through, he's battling, and then it's done. It's like he puts it into this other gear,
Right.
and nobody comes close. And to do it 3 straight years, and he's got the 200 meters coming up as well. It's sick. And I almost, granted, it's a lot easier when the American Gatlin is somebody who was, suspended for a while for doping. But I almost wondered, and I wonder if anybody else had this feeling. I felt in a weird way a little bit, wait a second, I'm not guilty. I'm not rooting for the American. I'm rooting for some guy from Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
But I find in talking to people, most people did the same thing. It became more of a individual deal than you're rooting for your country, which the Olympics is supposedly all about.
Right, but I think most people don't know who Justin Gatlin is. I mean,
right.
We've heard the name and the drug issues, and he obviously won the gold medal years and years and years ago. But this is Usain Bolt, Michael Phelps, Katie Ledecky. Whenever the Olympics start, there's all these write-ups, and you kind of get to know the biggest athletes. And Bolt's the biggest name in track and field. I mean,
he's almost in his own sphere,
his Usain Bolt,
his own category. I mean, he's just you're cheering for greatness. How could you not? At that point, it's just that race is about him and not really about country.
And it's 10 seconds. I mean, if this were like the Olympic hockey team, the Miracle on Ice. Granted, it was the Russians, but it was a buildup over time, and each win. It's like, oh, they won again. They won. This takes 10 seconds, so it starts and stops.
So if it was like the 3,200 meters, a 2 mile, and you could see the guy winning,
I don't know. Yeah,
you feel a little differently.
But nobody watches the 3,200. I mean, only probably your daughter is going to watch the 3,200, whereas everybody who watches the Olympics makes it a point of watching the 100 meters. So I think that's a big part of it as well. I bet you if you did a instant poll last night as the event was starting and you asked Americans who were watching live on NBC who you got, not meaning who you're picking, who you're rooting for, I would bet you a majority would say Usain Bolt. Not because of Gatlin's drug issues or PEDs, not because they're anti-American, but because it's like
he's Usain Bolt.
He's Usain Bolt. So you are going to root for the fastest man alive to win the fastest man competition, I would think.
Now, who's a better athlete, Usain Bolt or Michael Phelps? Because what Michael Phelps did, winning 23 gold medals in his career is absolutely insane as well. He wins the last one Saturday as part of the relay.
So Nathan Adrian building the lead on Duncan Scott in lane 5 for the United States will indeed give Michael Phelps a gold medal in the final Olympic race of his career with a new Olympic record.
It's tough. I mean, I might have to go Phelps on that, but
to me, it's not even a question. To me, it's Phelps hands down. And the reason is simple. To me, it's because Phelps has done stuff in different disciplines. It would be one thing. Now, Bolt has done the 100 meters and the 200 meters and part of relays. But what Phelps has been able to do throughout his career with, butterfly and freestyle and different lengths is like if Bolt did hurdles as well, then you could sit there and make the comparison. To me, what Phelps has done makes him a better athlete. To me,
I agree.
Because it's two different types of swimming.
I agree. Well, it's not even that. It's just when you do anybody who has swam, it's. I mean, you can't get oxygen. I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but because your face is in water, you can't actually get the oxygen. But so I was driving in this morning, and when Dan was on commercial break, I was listening to the ESPN radio, and they have Mike Golick's son has a show with somebody else, and Mike and somebody else, and they were debating if you took Usain Bolt and Michael Phelps and had them run a series of races against each other where they both ran the 100 meters, then they got in the pool and swam the 100 meters, then they ran the 200 meters, and then they got in the pool and swam 200
That would
meters.
be a joke.
Phelps would destroy, if you took the relative time, right? It would be so much, because, yes, Usain Bolt would run much faster, but he'd only probably run like 2 seconds faster in the 100 meters. I don't know, 3 seconds?
I don't know.
Even if it's 4 seconds, it doesn't make a difference.
I don't know how fast of a swimmer he
But
is.
if they got in the pool, Phelps would destroy him.
Well, I don't even know if Bolt can swim.
I don't know if he can either, but I guarantee you Phelps would be at the other end of the pool It is very racist what Stoney just said, by the way. Yes.
No, it has nothing to do with that.
It wasn't because he's black?
No.
No?
I just don't know if he can swim. I assume he can. He's from Jamaica. It's an island country, but I don't know. 7-1 the ticket.